We're going to begin with an invocation by Councilman Rankin, followed by the pledge of allegiance. All those ready, please stand.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this evening. Thank you for another day of light. We just thank you for your abundant goodness to us. I pray for our country. Guide and protect us. Guide us here tonight in our discussion. May we do what is best for the people of Lawrence County tonight. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up, we have approval of the agenda. We have a couple of additions this evening, following the approval of the minutes. As far as a recognition to do. Well, that's surprising for that. And then new business, put it at the top. We have a grant application for Project SOPA to accept. Grants go in 9.
with changes.
Mr. Carroll, second by Ms. Anderson. Are there any other additions or deletions to the minutes or to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 6-0. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the July 12th regular meeting. Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Motion to approve the July minutes of July 12/2020.
We have a motion by Ms. Clark. Second by Mr. Carroll. Are there any additions or deletions to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of approval as presented, please raise your right hand. 6-0. All right, next up, I'm going to call on Ms. Clark. Give her the floor.
Good evening, everyone. So glad you all came out to the meeting tonight. At this time, I want to present to one of our very own resident, lifelong resident, that turned 105 years old in Lawrence County. That's the oldest that I know of that's in Lawrence County. I'm not sure, but that's the oldest that as I know of. At this time, I'm gonna call her family to come up at this time. Miss Nellie and Santino Golden. This is her daughter and granddaughter. She wouldn't be able to be here with us, but she does get up and she moves around, walk and talk. And as she celebrated, I had the opportunity to go visit and celebrate, and we cooked out and laughed and had fun as well. So, this is Miss Nellie Bowley. This is her granddaughter Santina. At this time, we want it read certificate of appreciation and community gratitude on behalf of the County of Lawrence, South Carolina. It is with deep pride that we, the Lawrence County Council, do hereby recognize with esteemed honor a longtime resident of Lawrence County who, on the 14th day of July 2022, turns 105 years old. Ms. Inez Boozer represented a strong root within her family, 3 children, 1 adopted child, 13 grandchildren, 31 great-grandchildren, 49 great-great-grandchildren, and 3 great-great-great-grandchildren. For this occasion of turning 105 years over life, we wish you the happiest birthday with great appreciation on this 26th day of July 2022. Tell Ms. Inez Boozer, happy birthday from the Lawrence County Council. God bless you.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right, well, you've heard that resolution read by Ms. Clark. I'm going to take that in the form of a motion, and I will second that resolution. And we will take a vote. All those in favor in recognizing the 105th birthday celebration, please raise your right hand. 6-0. Amazing feat, to make it to 105. Please tell your mother happy birthday.
We will. Thank y'all very much.
All right, next up, we have public comment. Public comment this evening. So we will jump right to reports to council. We have a presentation on the 250th Revolutionary War Sites update. Follow Mr. Seegers.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be with you today. I'm Henry Seegers, chairman of the Orange County 250th Revolutionary War Sisters Continuum. They call them Orange County, not veterans. We very proud to be here. This organization put together late last year to commemorate and celebrate the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, which will take place in 2026. This council, I believe, in December of last year, recognized our group as the official agency or entity in Lawrence County to do this work. And since that time, we have been, because of your help to us, we have been recognized by the state 250th celebration committee as the official agency of county duties, which qualifies for some limited state grants and so forth to help us out in that regard. I would like to, we've got about 10 members of our committee. I would like to name them just so you know who they are. I serve as chairman. I'm sort of gratified to do that. Our vice chairman, Dr. Bud Marchant, who is executive director of Orange County Trail Association, and also retired educator. Dr. Booker Ingram, retired political science professor at Presbyterian College. Dr. Ben Bailey, who's currently professor at Presbyterian College. Carolyn Short, longtime county educator. I'm sure most of you know Short. She's also the immediate past president of Orange County Museum Association. Debbie Vaughn is with us tonight. Ms. Vaughn is mover and shaker with the county museum, which is also on the board and also an officer of that organization. Sarah Armstrong, Ms. Armstrong is also here. She's a Great Coat Owens area leading component of historical preservation. Sort of glad to have her. Ms. Diane Culbertson, who's with us tonight. Ms. Culbertson is a well-known statewide historian, and she also serves on the state committee that I mentioned previously. That helps us with communication, that kind of thing. Amanda Munyon, Amanda's not here now, I don't think. She's president of Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce, CEO of that organization. Been enormous help to us. She provides us staff work and also helps us meetings, that kind of thing. And Mr. Durant Ashmore, I know you know Mr. Ashmore already, but he has served in our committee and is a great resource. He has really kind of set the pace for the work we're doing. A little bit of administrative stuff. We have organized ourselves, I think, into an effective committee. We meet the first Monday of each month with Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce. We have agendas. We have minutes. Betty Walsh, who you all know, she's been with you all for a long time. Helps me with that. She's been here for years. Certainly appreciate that. We are basically setting a program of work for what we're going to do over the next 4 years. Major focus of what we're trying to do is establish a Revolutionary War trail that will basically be countywide. We'll go from Cross Hill to Greenville County line. We'll take in 12 to 15 sites. I think Mr. Chairman Patterson, I think, went on that tour one time and take a route. There's some work to be done there with private property and other things, but we are making progress in that regard. There's also some archaeological work, pending archaeological work to be done at Fort Lindley in the upper end of the county, and possibly at Hammond Store, a major battle site down on Green Plain Road, coming back to Gowanus. That work may be done too. The other effort we're making is we're working with the local design professional here in Lawrence to develop some signage, some other things that will have uniformity in what we're trying to do. We're looking at, and Mr. Ashmore can address it better than I can, but we're looking at technological work that will allow, if you pull up your car, with your cell phone, you put your phone on a particular kiosk or plate, and it will give you a verbal, oral, audio version of what went on that. That's the second phase we're working on. It's important to realize that some of these sites are on private property, so we've got to deal with that, rights of way and other things. We were fortunate to have, we've gotten some funding from the state to do some of this work. The county was very generous with $20,000 allocation back several months ago, so some of the work we're talking about. We've also been in touch with other organizations here in the county, and we've gotten got funding from the Chamber of Commerce, Lawrence Commission of Public Works, got some funding coming from the Lawrence County Water and Sewer Commission. The county has been very generous with an allocation as well. We've also got about $5,400 in state grants. Part of that is for administrative work to help us with our organizational process. And part of that is marketological work that we talked about previously. Mr. Ashmore is here to talk about a couple of sites he's working on and spent a lot of time on in the last several months. So I'll refer to him right now. Anybody have a question for me? Ma'am,
Where are you meeting?
Chamber of Commerce.
At Chamber
Yeah,
Office.
4 o'clock on first Monday. And we do. I think I'm meeting in August, but we're on 15th, so months when we're out of town. But normally we can first Monday of each month. I've done that pretty consistently. Oh, and also Mr. Cruikshank has helped with this, the chairman as well, and Mr. Higgs. We have arranged some financial work with the Chamber of Commerce through their foundation that will allow us to receive funds and spend funds. So once this work gets started, we'll be able to handle the finances as well. We'll thank Ms. Monday for that. She's been an enormous help. Although what she does for the county, I certainly appreciate what she's done.
Have y'all approached the private sector? I heard about everything I heard was basically public. I didn't hear about any private.
Not yet, no, ma'am, we have not. Now this is a 4-year program, so that's not to say they're all in this by any stretch, but right now we have not. We just went with the additional, sent a letter out a couple of months ago. Had pretty good response, I think, so far. May get more, but right now we're kind of concentrating on public entities.
The state allocated a lot of money, so make sure you go in the box.
Well, then not much of a thing, but we certainly have. We do, this cause was pointing out before, we were talking about here. Lawrence has really moved forward on this program. I'm not sure we're the #1 county in the state yet. We progressed a great deal. And in September, I keep thinking, I'm sorry, I'm getting old. In September of this year, the state commission is going to meet in Lawrence. They'll meet in Lawrence County. They're going to meet at the museum. And then they're going to tour, I think, Musgrove Mill and maybe some other sites that Mr. Ashmore working on. And that will be several, I'm not sure how many members will be, the whole committee will be here. So that'll help us, I think. And we plan to publicize that. There'll be some drop-ins and some other things that we'll certainly invite county officials to. I think it's September 27th, 28th, 27th, 28th. So put that down, and we're going to have a drop-in, I think, maybe. And we're going to meet at the museum to start with, have a tour of that. And I'm sure proud of that organization too. They've been helpful as well. But this committee is chaired by an attorney from Kershaw County, Charles Baxley, and he's been very helpful with our very supportive. No question. I'll defer to Mr. Ashford. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Durant Ashmore. You all have seen this scene before. This is the most famous and iconic painting of action in the Revolutionary War. that there is. It's more widely recognized. This is the scene at the end of Cowpens, and it was drawn by William Rainey in 1845. He's basing this depiction on a letter written by John Edward Howard in 1804. And what this scene shows is the very tail end of Cowpens. And the central figure there on the white horse, that is William Washington, George Washington's second cousin, once removed. Now, the fellow he is sword fighting with on the right, that is Banastre Tarleton. These are the two premier cavalry officers in the American Revolution. Banastre Tarleton is the best the British had. William Washington is the best that the Americans had. And in this scene, you will see that William Washington's sword is being broken at the hilt as he is fighting with Banastre Tarleton. And at the very end, a waiter, too small to wield the sword, raises his pistol and wounds Cornet Patterson, who was that fellow wearing red in the back there, who's getting ready to chop William Washington to death. But the waiter on the left saves William Washington's life in this thing. Now, this is at Cowpens. 18 days before Cowpens, two of the individuals shown in this picture were here in Lawrence County. They were at Hammond's store. These two individuals are William Washington, America's best cavalry officer, right here. And his assistant, he's also referred to as an ordinary trumpeter. His assistant is this fellow on the left right there, raising his pistol. He was William Washington's bugler. That's why he's at William Washington's side at the end of this battle, because a bugler has a very important role. So we know that this bugler fought at Hammond's store. We know that he fought at Cowpens. And we also know that he fought at Guilford Courthouse 3 months later. And he was killed at Guilford Courthouse. So these individuals fought here. This is the battle scene of Hammond's store, which is on Green Plain Road, about 3 miles south of Clinton. Now, in the upper right, the blue streak there, that's the Bush River. In the lower left corner there, that's Green Plain Road. And when you see the cluster of red, blue, and yellow dots there, those are Hammond Store battlefield artifacts that the South Carolina Battleground Trust metal detecting team located in February and March of this month. South Carolina Battleground Trust team is the best in the nation at finding battlegrounds. The reason for that is South Carolina's got more battlegrounds than any other state in the United States, 200 of them. And this is an active team that finds these battlegrounds. And this is what we found at Hammond's store. These represent musket balls, rifle balls, shotgun shells, buttons, buckles, stirrups, horseshoes, things of that nature. This is a LiDAR image of the battlefield. Now you see the streak right down the middle of that scene there. That is the Colonial Road. That road is 30 feet deep. It is the finest example of a colonial road in the state of South Carolina, and it's right here in Lawrence County. This battleground has been lost for over 200 years. And what we are doing in many cases here is rediscovering lost history. And Lawrence County has such a rich legacy with Revolutionary War battles. It's the type of thing people from all over the country will come and see. It's the type of thing that people from all over the world will come and see. And we are preparing to be ready for this in 4 years. 12 sites with illustrations of what happened in the Lawrence County battles. Now, I will tell you, I'm now the proud owner of 1 acre of prime Lawrence County land. I'm a taxpayer, so I'm gonna keep an eye on you guys. But I was able to purchase an acre on the edge of this battlefield. There we go. This is a parking lot that I'm in the process of grading right now that will become the Hammond Store Revolutionary War Park. And we are bringing visitors to this site. It's about 200 yards from the battlefield. And from there, we will tour the site where the battles occurred. Got trails through there. The Paynes are the owner, Horace and Sarah Payne are the owners of this property. And we have trails through the battle site showing the road that William Washington charged up with 85 dragoons supported by 200 local militia. They attacked Thomas Waters and 250 Georgia Tories that were plundering the backcountry. This is December 30th, 1780. So the Tories were stopped at Hammond Store. Hammond Store was a frontier store here supplying the backcountry in the 1770s. And the Tories were retreating. They knew that William Washington was after them. They did not have proper security. William Washington captured their rear guard, and he knew that the Tories were at Hammond Store, camped at the crest of the hill. Well, he topped one hill on the opposite side of Bush River Road, Bush River. And as soon as he saw the Tories encamped on the opposite brow of the hill, he charged. And he went through there with sabers flashed. The Little River Militia, Lawrence County Militia, other state troops covered the flanks. And in this case, there were 100 Tories that were killed. There were 50 of them that were captured. There were 40 of them that were wounded. The rest of them escaped to Fort Williams to fight the next day. 50 horses were captured. There were 0 infantry casualties. Possible this was a massacre. This is part of the story. But this was an overwhelming victory. And from this victory, 18 days later, at Cowpens, the patriot sentiment was so aroused that there were 1,000 volunteer militiamen at Cowpens, which made a huge difference. There were 50 loyalists at Cowpens. The loyalists in this area went to ground. Lawrence County is the center of a civil war that occurred in the Revolutionary War, because half of the people here at Hammond Store were patriots, the other half were loyalists, and they were from this area. August the 6th, I'm leading a tour of the Hammond Store battlefield. And I'm here tonight to invite all of you to this. This is a show me site. I bought this to show you and the private citizen homeowners what we can do with 12 sites in Lawrence County. I think this is going to be an example of the different sites, what they can do, and how important that they are. In addition to the tour of Hammond Store on Saturday, August the 6th at 9 o'clock, 1503 Green Plain Road, there will be a tour of Hays Station, which is only 7 miles away and is related. Hays Station is the place where Buddy Bill Cunningham murdered 18 men of the Little River Regiment. Men who fought against him at Hammond Store. Buddy Bill Cunningham was at Hammond Store. Here he is at Hays Station 9 months later, and he chopped those men to pieces after they had surrendered and had their hands tied behind their back. Other than the churches in Lawrence County, Hays Station is the most sacred spot in this county. And I'm having people come in, descendants of people who were slain here. I'm having people coming from all over the country visiting this place. I've had people from North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, Seattle, Washington, Alabama, Tennessee. The opportunity for tourism from these Revolutionary War sites is vast. It's just something that people will want to come from all over the country to see. You know, there's a little example of some of the meetings that we do have at Hays Station. So there's so many sites like this in Lawrence County. It's an exciting thing. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be a landowner in Lawrence County. I love that. I don't mind telling you. And I hope that all of y'all can join us on August the 6th. There's going to be a good sized crowd there. And we would love your participation, and we'd love to show you what we can do and what we are doing. Does anybody have any questions?
I just want to thank you for coming and give us a little bit of history from Lawrence. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sir. All right, next, are there any council submissions for county boards? None, I'll call Andy Howard, I believe he's got some committee members with him, about exact.
Good evening, council. I'm here tonight to discuss accommodations tax and get council approval for the recommendations coming from the Accommodations Tax Commission and the Parks and Recreation Commission for this year's and 2 years during COVID that we weren't able to award accommodations taxes. During COVID, we didn't have the festivals and the things we normally award those funds for, so we carried those over 2 years, which is allowable for the state. And that 2 years is up, so we have to spend those funds. So we are at the point now where we have to award those funds or we will put those funds back to the state. We did actually award funds out last year and this year based on those, and we're at a point now where we have to award those funds for 2 years. And this year we are also awarding funds on 2 festivals. So we've got basically the carryover funds to award, and we have this year's funds to award. So what we are asking this year is for the festivals to be awarded. The festivals that you see in your agenda package to be awarded as seen. Everybody that applied, with the exception of one, that was Waterloo, were accepted and awarded as applied. Waterloo was not awarded because their festival did not meet the criteria of being a tourist attracting festival. Their festival was a community-oriented festival. And we have explained it to them in the past that it's a tourism attracting festival, not a community festival. This festival was, in its nature, called a community festival, not a tourism. They used to do something called the Cotton Festival, which was for attracting tourism, attracting folks into the community. But this was a community-oriented festival. Last year, they were awarded funds for welcome signs, which would generate tourism, would highlight their town. And it is up to council whether or not we award funds. We have the final say, but we are audited on how we spend the funds. If we do award funds and it's not considered tourism related, then we are responsible for those funds and required to pay those funds back. So that is the funds that we are awarded. Most of these festivals and tourism-related industries were recurring, and those recurring ones were all there. The only new applicant was the 250th, and that was the Sister Centennial Group. Just heard from with Mr. Seegers and Mr. Ashmore. They actually applied, and we awarded them $4,000 and any remaining funds from this year, which was $14,000. And we also recommended that they receive the back funds for the 2 years that we did not award COVID during COVID times. So that would equal up to about $121,000 with their application from this year, the remaining funds from this year, and the funds from the 2 years before that. We do believe that would be a huge tourism attraction, something that will not just last for this year or for the Sister Centennial, but something that will last for a long time coming. And we really believe that this is a long-standing project that will not only benefit Lawrence County, but benefit the state and really produce a tourism attraction for a long time to come. And these funds in the past are after the required deductions that go to the general fund and the tourism promoting agency, because we still did that in the past during the COVID years, because we have to do that off the top no matter what. So these were funds that were for tourism related expenditures. So all the required allocations were made in those years that we didn't have festivals and things of that nature.
All right. Further recommendations by Mr. Howard? Are there any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm thinking Cross Hill also would not be on Cross Hill. Coming home Cross Hill, they're not tourism either.
They didn't apply, and they applied in the past, and I've spoken to Reese several times, and sometimes they apply, sometimes they do not. And they just haven't applied in the past few years, or the past 2 years they haven't. And Ms. Reed she didn't apply this year. I don't understand if they just don't have the need for it, but we actually just did get an application, and I actually forwarded the email to past recipients, or forwarded the application to past recipients, and I didn't get a response from her this time.
If you could give Cross Hill and Waterloo a small donation out of the funds that was remaining from last year, so they can learn how to attempt to learn how to do some tourism. And I want to suggest at least 2,000, half of what the rest of them receive, just to have them to learn how they need to grow their area or learn how to make sure they get grants. I usually go to both. They are both participated by the people in their communities. They're supported by them. And if a few people from around the county would go, I can't say how many that's out of town, but I think they need to work at it. And I think the only way they can work at it is that we assist them. And I would like if we could do something to initiate that we are assisting you this year to try to make sure you learn how to promote tourism within your festival, and then give them opportunity to make sure they might apply next year.
Can I have a quick moment? Yes, sir. The Township of Cross Hill has approached my office with a request. They're seeking some improvements to some of their facilities around town and everything. Maybe if I could bring that proposal to this council, and that would, of course, add on to the beautification of their township, which would help promote these types of things. We can work during that process through it. They have some critical needs. They're applying for some park grants And I know Lawrence County Water Sewer is here tonight. Well, they've contributed to those grant matches, and they're asking the county for assistance also. Maybe we can do sort of the two in tandem a little bit and all that. That would alleviate the circumstances with this particular ATAX commitment. And we could give them a different appropriation, if that makes sense, to, of course, add on to what Andy's talking about and bringing in those tools.
I just would like to see them being included because I know they attempt and they try. And I like to help somebody who's trying, but all the time you could be trying and not know which way to go. So all you need is some assistance to be pointed in the right direction. And that will help you out some.
They've made a very, very
I know
substantial request.
I know they're in need.
Yes, ma'am.
If it wasn't that a need was not there, it'd be totally different.
I think that we could, without messing with the way this is lined up, I think that we could possibly purchase a billboard to advertise for their festival and work with them next year and say, if you did this, that would increase your attendance from outside of the community. And if we did that separate from this using our special projects fund, then I think that would show them that they could get a better turnout and a better attendance. And then that wouldn't mess with the way these funds are applied and it wouldn't, I'm not gonna say look bad on the way the accommodations taxes are done, and it wouldn't say, well, I got money and I didn't even apply. I think if we did it basically by using our special projects fund, and also, we have that 30% that we apply to the Chamber of Commerce as a tourism promoting agency. I think we can use funds to help them get promotion for those two festivals or their communities
I would
necessarily.
appreciate that.
I think-
That would be a way of helping.
I think that would be a good opportunity to help them promote their communities and actually do a good job without, I'm not gonna say.
I know, I got
You know where I'm coming from.
you. Yes, I do.
So I think, and I can work with them because I
I
know Ms.
appreciate that.
Barbara and I can know. it's really good too. So,
I appreciate that.
all right.
And I move that we take the recommendation from the ATAX committee funding that they have recommended and in our discussion this evening.
Motion by Ms. Anderson. Second by Mr. Ryan. Is there any other discussion? I do have one question. Just reading your numbers here, the 50,174.31. Is that 2022 numbers? Where's that number from?
All right, these numbers are paid in arrears, so these are last year's numbers and the numbers 2 years prior to that, and the numbers. So 2022, 2021, 2020 are the 2 years prior for COVID, and 2019. 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 were paid out. So this is 2022 that we're funding now. And 2020, not 2019, 2020 is what we're paying for the arrears that we didn't pay out. But we paid out 2019 last year because we could only carry that over 2 years. So we're paying out the carryover from 2020 and 2021.
And we won't have any carryover for
We
next
won't
year.
have any carryover anymore.
Why is that? Keep carryover in case something pops up.
It's not wise to carry anything over. It's better to spend it as soon as you get it.
Don't worry. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor of approving the ATAX committee funding request as submitted, please raise your right hand. 6-0. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Next, we're doing the new business, Mr. Coleman. This is our addition to the agenda this meeting. Grant application for this project. So
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and council. Project SOFA, we've done a couple of the FELO ordinance readings on it already. It'll be pushed out to September for the third one, just because of timing from the state. And one of them is this grant application that we've got to get in. Very similar to some of the others that we've signed, asking for approval, Mr. Higgs to sign an application for $150,000 coming from the Department of Commerce.
All right, you've heard the recommendation, Mr. Coleman. Do we have a motion to approve Mr. Higgs to execute a grant application from the Department of Commerce for $150,000 for projects?
That the county administrator initiated the application for a grant from the Department of Commerce.
Second.
Got a motion by Ms. Anderson, second by Ms. Coleman. Is there any other discussion? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 6-0. All right, you're still up there.
The next two items, one is the inducement resolution, and then the other is first reading ordinance for Project Wrench, which is the FELO agreement. There's really no jobs out of this. As you see, it's third reading. It's a large automotive manufacturer in the state of South Carolina that is putting up $25 million or so worth of equipment into one of our existing industries that supplies them. So as owning property here, obviously, everything taxes and given the FEMA, this is very similar to other agreements that we have in place with the
All right, you've heard that recommendation by Mr. Coleman. Are there any questions for the call for motion on the addition? Right here, I'll call for a motion on resolution 2022-36C, which is Project Ranch and addition. Motion by Mr. Wright. Second by Mr. Carroll. Is there any discussion? I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That's 6-0. And to follow that, of course, is ordinance 929, which is the FELO ordinance for Project Ranch. Do I have a motion? Carol? Second by Ms. Anderson. Discussion. All right, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. All right, up next, we have two items to discuss from Warren County Water Sewer. I'll call on and Chairman, if you desire.
Good evening, council. Thank you for allowing us to come here tonight. We also recognize our chairman, Mr. Ted Davenport. We're here tonight. Our bond attorney, Theo DeBose, that some of you might know who he is, did not make it tonight in their discussion with Sandy, kind of just sort of make sure we have everything in place as far as legalese. And so I'll turn that part of whatever questions you may have over to Sandy. But the reason I want to talk about is the part I want to touch on are the basically the continuation of the existing GO bond. It's up for renewal, and we would like to request the county council allow that process to move forward. So both water and sewer infrastructure projects to support industrial growth in the northern part of the county and the existing growth that we're seeing in that part of our system now. Total project cost for both projects is about $22 million, almost $22.5 million. So what our request would be for up to $9 million. This would not constitute tax increase, basically for our existing year.
I think you answered my question. That this is a renewal of the, you have currently have a bond on the books and it is expiring, and this will just be a renewal of that.
That's correct.
Well, first, thank you very much. I'm going to speak. I believe resolution 2022-38C is a call for public hearing.
That's correct, and I think you will see in there the date set for the hearing. There's a time frame that has to be met, which is a little different than the time frames that we have for public hearing. Mr. DeBose and I went through with the calendar and made sure we had all the i's dotted and t's crossed, and he has taken care of the publication. This is an unusual thing. We did this, what, 10 years ago?
20 years ago.
20? Time flies when you're having fun. But they're a special purpose district, which kind of, the way the Enabling Act is set up, the county kind of does the legal part of the bond for their benefit. One of the reasons for not having to have a tax increase is that our value of our bill has, I think Theo said it went up, what, 50% since in 20 years. So that's a good thing. Yeah, we've reviewed all the resolutions that they have signed and approved. Mr. Davenport is chairman. All of it is in order, and we certainly urge council to approve the resolution and first reading for their bond.
All right, you've heard the recommendation from the county attorney, Mr. Fields. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 2022-38C, which is calling for a public hearing on August the 23rd at 5:30 p.m. here in County Council chambers for a reissuance of the Lawrence County Water Supply Bond.
I move that we approve the resolution for the Lawrence County water and sewer renewal of public hearing. August the 23rd.
Have a motion by Ms. Anderson, second by Mr. Carroll. Is there any other discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 6-0. Oh, that, we have ordinance 930, which is first reading of the. Mr. Rick, do you have anything to add to that?
No, it's just
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the area that you were talking about?
So, yes, ma'am. The two projects in question, one's a water project, which will consist of a large line of Highway 14, elevated tank, for exit 10 and 3-5, plus growth residential road, Sandy Springs community. Really a large area of our system, allows us to take water from Lake Greenwood and push it further north into the Greenport community over time. So that will serve a huge area of the county, over half of our customer base, because an elevated tank is part of that project. The other one is a sewer project, and that will go to augment the demand up around Great Court and the connection of Industrial Park.
Is that going to help in the city of Gray Court?
Eventually, it will help the city of Great Court, town of Great Court, because it will allow them to expand the sewer in and around their town by getting more capacity near their town limits. The problem they have right now with regards to sewer is they need flow, they need demand for sewer. This will enable that to occur, and we can transition to a more permanent sewer option for the town down the road.
I think that's one of their major issues.
We're working with them on a couple options. That's all.
Thank you much.
Good. And just for information, the 04 bond issue 20 years ago that we did, that was for the sewer system that serves Opus Industrial Park, which is one of the reasons that's the
Are there any other questions? I'll call for a motion to approve ordinance 930 on first reading.
Motion approved.
Mr. Rankin, second by Ms. Clark. Is there any further discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 6-0. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. All right, next up, we have an item on the agenda for discussion on the waste management ordinance. I'm going to turn it forward to Mr. Rankin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, citizens of Lawrence County. It's great to be here tonight. Great to see all of you here as well. Over the past few months, we have talked extensively about proper growth for Lawrence County and what that looks like moving forward as Lawrence County continues to develop and get larger in population. And we have done great things as far as the subdivision ordinance to address issues that have been brought forward by people that are here tonight as well. But something that has bothered me greatly over the past few months, and many of you will remember this, but there was a situation that happened in Clinton back towards the end of last year where we had a wastewater facility treatment plant that wanted to be built in Clinton. And the effects of that were not going to be beneficial to the people of Clinton. And if it wasn't for the large amounts of people that showed up and protested that, they would have that facility right now and be in the process of being built. And so in an effort to curb unwanted industry in Lawrence County, in an effort to keep Lawrence County from being the dump site of the upstate, I have been in the process of drafting an ordinance that would effectively give county council more control over which industries and how many are allowed to be brought to the county. Obviously, waste facilities are a necessity for any county, but how many do we want? You know, how many of these facilities do we really want in Lawrence County? And with the growth, especially in the upstate, Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, they're going to have a harder time getting approved in those locations. So they're going to be looking more towards us here in Lawrence County. So I want to be proactive tonight and get this ordinance to committee where we can then work it in a way that would be effective and give us the ability to regulate what is and what is not allowed in Lawrence County. So that is all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you having the passion to bring this up. There are some holes in Lawrence, and of course, once again, with no zoning, it kind of leaves it wide open for somebody to do what they want to on their own property. So this will be another way to mitigate some of that. I think moving it to a committee for further discussion is definitely the way to go. I think the main goal here is public health and welfare. So I think the Committee on Health, Welfare, and Emergency Services would be the appropriate committee, and it's chaired by Chairman Carroll. So I will rely on him to present off and get this set up, and obviously include you. I believe you should only committee as well. But I would highly encourage other council members to give us running feedback and opinion as that begins to be drafted. It won't be a fast process. It won't happen next meeting, but it will be. We can start that process and look forward to seeing the first reading of that when y'all have a chance to review it. But thank you. Is there any comments or questions from other council members on that? Wraps us up. We'll move on to county council comments. I'll start on my right. Ms. Clark.
I would say, thank all of you for allowing me to do a resolution on our 105th citizen of Lawrence County. And thank all of you for coming out this evening to help us to stay on task, to let Lawrence County thrive and work together as a community, as a family. And I did thank all of you for coming out this evening. Have a great night.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you. Again, thank you all for coming out tonight. And also love hearing our history. And thank you, Mr. Ray Ashmore, for bringing that tonight. Ernie Seegers, thank you for all you do as well, and the rest of the committee that is present tonight. Thank you for your hard work. I mean, as you all know, a very avid supporter of history, and I always love to see the work that you guys are doing. I also want to thank Andy Howard for the work that your committee has done with the ATAX committee, and seeing the need and appropriateness of allocating those extra funds to where I think it would be best utilized, and that is with the 250th Revolutionary War Museum Committee to carry on the great work that they're doing. So thank you all, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Mr. Rankins talking about the dump sites that may sneak into the county. I'd like to see us get a handle on this quick as we can, or we'll find ourselves back to this wall.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Anderson.
is hot outside. Temperature has been rising every day. So y'all please stay safe, stay hydrated, stay as foolish as you can. Leave it like that. Take care of your health.
All right, I'll also be brief. First, thank you, Revolutionary War folks. Y'all put a lot of time and volunteerism into making this county better to attract more tourism in, so that Indy has better tax money to spend on other tourism projects. So I do appreciate all your volunteerism there. Only thing I have this Thursday at 12 o'clock, we'll be doing the ribbon cutting on the voter registration and veteran affairs building on the old Winn-Dixie Plaza, Hillcrest Drive behind the Bojangles. I encourage those that are able to come. It will be a good show. We're expecting a good crowd. A lot of state folks here from the election side of things and the veteran side of things. And I'm excited about the opening of that building. They've been operating there for a while, but the official opening. Two great things in our country is those that fight for our freedom, and then they fight for our ability to vote without hindrance. So being able to celebrate those two offices in the county is going to be a great thing. And then also, believe it or not, by the time we come back, the second meeting in August, kids will be back in school. It's hard to believe summer's over with, but be in prayer for the students and the parents as they go back. This world is different than it was even when I was in school. They're facing new challenges that many of us never saw a problem, but we'd be in prayer for the students, teachers, and the parents as they re-enter that realm, and hopefully we'll have good things going on around Lawrence County. That being said, I will call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Rankin, second by Mr. Carroll. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 6-0.
Yes.